Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a review on BNB, Binance Coin. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert. Do your own research. So today I'm going to be reviewing Binance Coin, BNB. I am going to take maybe 2 or 3 days before I actually post this video, so hopefully the market doesn't change too much during that time. But okay, let's just go ahead and get to it here. So this is BNB this is BNB BTC on the 1 week, and BNB was an anomaly for quite some time as an altcoin, just because it really pumped strongly when the rest of the altcoin market died. And overall, it was a really good investment all throughout 2018 and 2019. I never really bought it, to be frank and honest with you, even though I traded on Binance, and that was a great mistake on my part. And it's really sad too, because I actually used to just trade in BTC pairs, and I didn't really used to trade in USDT pairs very much. And this would have been a great buy, but whatever it is what it is. It's obviously done very well over the course of its lifetime. And right now it pumped very strongly recently, just because of a lot of factors. Binance Smart Chain is one large factor, and just the overall market in terms of altcoins just being really strong. And Binance is obviously one of the market leaders in crypto, and I do feel strongly about BNB overall. But in terms of exchange coins, they're probably better options, but we'll not get into that today. So let's just mark some levels here for BNB on the 1 week. Obviously, you could see this was basically in its inception point, and price pumped here in early January. This was the alt season where every other alt did huge percentage, and price pulled back just like everything else. But unlike the other altcoins that basically died off in 2018 and the summer of 2019, BNB just kept pumping huge, and it had this huge run all throughout basically until the summer of May of 2019, where it basically started to fall into the same pattern as all the other altcoins, where alts basically started to struggle a little bit all throughout the summer of 2019. So we saw this huge run up, and as I said before, BNB was an anomaly before, and then it had a heavy retracement period. So what did we see during this basic price action all throughout basically late 2018 and 2019? In my opinion, this was basically accumulation, where price took a break after having this huge run all throughout 2018. And you can basically see, you can mark accumulation periods. They're always easy in hindsight to mark, generally speaking. And usually it's harder to tell when it's actually happening, but in hindsight it's always quote unquote so obvious. But I mean, you can basically see price ping-ponging in a range with mixed volume. And obviously the best example of accumulation was the BTC bottom in 2018, 2019. I mean, I'll just very quickly go to it here. This is textbook accumulation. Again, so easy to tell in hindsight, but when you're actually trading it and in it, it's a little harder. But BNB BTC, here we saw an accumulation period run up here. This was with the rest of altcoins in the summer, but it never really had a huge run. Relatively speaking, I actually thought it would go a little higher, but price pulled back with the rest of the altcoin market, and the altcoin market basically all died off all throughout the fall of 2020, and BNB was really lagging heavily. until recently, where it basically just totally exploded. And this, in my opinion, was basically a V-shaped bottom. You can see another video that I did on V-shaped bottoms in general, and just really overall reversal patterns for altcoins. Basically, it's a very explosive move where you'll see after long downtrends, many of the sellers are already out. After price just basically just, has this type of price action where it comes down, most of the sellers are already just gone. There's not really many sellers after these long downtrends, and so you won't see as much resistance when it starts to just blitz up heavily. And BNB really had a V-shaped reversal where it basically went up, skyrocketed up, and it blasted through this initial resistance area initially, and now it's come back to it. So personally, what is BNB going to do now? Is it still bullish? Well, as I said before, I'm going to be posting this video a few days later, so let's hope the market doesn't do something insane. Personally, I'm still bullish on BNB BTC overall as an altcoin. I think there will be one more run for many altcoins, and BNB with the whole pancake swap and Binance Smart Chain, it's really going to be something that will at least be a temporary place for a lot of the more gambling types, because we saw over the Uniswap summer where a lot of clone coins came out, a lot of 500x coins. You could get very, very rich or very, very poor very quickly on Uniswap. And that's where a lot of the degenerate plays are now on PancakeSwap, just because of the low fees and the overall speed. And so overall, I'm still bullish on Binance. I still think BNB is a good coin. Could this be a reversal pattern? It certainly could be. I mean, these tops usually take time to form, and you can basically see that here. I mean, this top right here took several weeks to form. Like, look, I mean, you're going to see a lot of volatility when market tops happen, and we're already kind of seeing that right now. We're seeing a lot of volatility where you see price spiking in crazy directions on both ends. However, I personally think that BNB will have at least one more run for the BTC pair. And let's mark some levels here. So what you can basically do is let's go to the 1 day. So what I did before was I fibbed out this fib here on the 1 day, and you can really scroll down to lower time frames to find your better levels. Okay, so we can basically see 060. Okay, so you'll have to scroll down to really low time frames actually to usually get like the really accurate levels. 615. I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say here. I think I like around this area. Fibs are always very subjective in general. Like, I see a lot of people asking, oh, do you mark from like the wick or the body? Do you mark like from the exact bottom? Usually from the start is where I do like the first impulse move. Sometimes it's the wick. Sometimes it's like the first impulse move where you'll see like price kind of like do something like this, and then boom is like your first impulse candle on low time frames. That's like usually like a good spot to like start fibbing. And most importantly for your fibs, you need to have areas where price respects the fib levels, because that's like the most important, because fibs will usually coincide with SR levels. Personally, this to me looks like a bullish accumulation, kind of like we see with theta, and you basically want to see all these EMAs starting to tighten up. And you'll want to see price just continue to ping pong here. And a good example of that is theta. You should really study that chart if you want to look for bullish accumulation patterns. But you can use a lot of different indicators, too. But personally, to me, this is like bullish accumulation. This is my fib here, and I'm still bullish on BNB overall. So you can basically use this here, something like, let's go. This is probably a little better. I just assume that price is going to keep holding here, but there are going to be some areas below. Like if Bitcoin rips up, generally speaking, alt BTC pairs will go down. So I would expect BNB to do the same. So if Bitcoin goes higher, then this is the first line of defense. If not there are some other key levels as well that will maybe hold as support, but generally speaking, I mean, this had such an insane run. It wouldn't surprise me to see this pull back a little more. And that's more if Bitcoin is really bullish here. It's going to go lower, in my opinion. But, I mean, I still feel that BNB will have at least one more run in the spring, maybe March or April. But let's just see. I'm not exactly sure when this will happen. And again, if Bitcoin really rips hard, then this will go lower, in my opinion. But for now, these lows are holding right here. And in terms of overall targets, you're going to have to use a Fibonacci extension for that. And yeah, you should just go ahead and look for those. Or there's a lot of other ways to look for coins and price discovery. But I am bullish on BNB BTC, and I think it's going to go higher. So let's briefly look at the USD pair. Similar to BNB, BTC, this had big run up, and similarly, all throughout 2019, it kind of went up, and then the summer of 2019, it started to dump. And I'm going to basically just talk about kind of this recent price action that we saw. We basically saw this kind of vertical accumulation that you see in other coins. I think Aave had something price action like this. We're just basically grinding up overall from the summer of 2020 all the way up to alt season of 2021, and then it just exploded up. And so again, here was my fib. I used the first impulse move up, and similarly to other altcoins, I thought that this alt USD pair was going to go higher. I mean, we're still seeing kind of choppy price action, in my opinion. I mean, you could even make an argument that this is just like making like this is just making lower highs if you want to do something like this. But I personally like just using fibs more and just regular price action SR levels. But yeah, I mean, this is something that isn't a coin or a investment that you should make like right away. You shouldn't need to market buy these types of coins and price action. I think you can be patient. Like I would just bid. Like this current area is a SR level if you wanted to just use pure SR. Support and resistance. Pretty normal level right here. So this is like, this is resistance and resistance, and now breakthrough, and now it's support. So this isn't a bad area to scale in now. If you want to also scale in, I would probably look to buy kind of like this block here. And this will show up more on higher time frames, I'm sure. But yeah, this is kind of like the buy zone. I would just buy like here 260 and then again at 230. I would just be patient with this one. And I think that BNB USDT, I think it has at least one more run in it personally. And as long as there's not some incredible FUD, which kind of happened today actually. Allegedly, US was investigating Binance or something like that. I don't know, but that caused a spike down in price. But overall, I kept thinking that, I mean, this still is fine. It's still bullish market structure. You're still seeing higher highs, higher lows on high time frame charts, that is. And like if you just zoom out, like this still looks fine to me. A higher low could be forming at this point. So personally, as I said, this to me still looks bullish. But if we start to see, like, as I always talk about, tops and bottoms always take a long time to form. And this was like the top before. And many times tops have more violent endings. Like if you look at, like, here's Bitcoin. The end of Bitcoin, like this was violent, right? This was just like insane spikes. And this is on the 3-day chart too. If you scale down to lower time frames, it's even crazier. Like you'll see like crazy spikes and both directions and a lot of volatility. And I can say that this currently looks a bit like that for BNB, to be honest. So like, this could certainly be the top. I mean, if this went back up again to 350 and then came all the way back down, I wouldn't be super surprised. But I still feel that BNB will have at least one more run in the later parts of the spring. To me, this is still a bullish market structure. I don't see this as bearish quite yet, but let's just see. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Good luck.